Welcome to the Sneaking to the Movies podcast. I'm Max Nathan.
And I'm Norman Davis. And this week, we have something very exciting planned for y'all. A Wes Anderson Film Fest draft.
You might be wondering, what are the rules? So we're going to have a snake draft. Norman and I are going to pick Wes Anderson's feature films, and we're going to have wild card categories for character and setting. So if Norman picks Mr. Fox and the Grand Budapest Hotel, for example, it would mean that in theory, Mr. Fox is presenting this film festival at the Grand Budapest Hotel. So, another thing, one of his feature-length films will go undrafted. Not because we wanted that to happen, but just because, the nature of two people picking from his films, it's an odd number. And also we've deemed Phoenician Scheme ineligible. But those are the rules. And Norman, are you about ready to get to drafting after this little intro?
Let's play ball.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
And we're back, and we're drafting Wes Anderson's films today. Norman, you like Wes Anderson?
I like Wes Anderson quite a bit. I'm pretty sure he's the first filmography I entirely watched from a director.
Interesting. Okay. I kind of have a similar experience, I think. Just in the sense that, and we'll get into it when we talk about the movies, but this is also one of my first times really getting into the work of a specific filmmaker. Mm-hmm. And I think this happened because of a very specific movie that we'll get into. But yeah, I think that Wes Anderson has been a huge, huge influence on me to this point, and why I'm
100%.
Even doing what I'm doing, trying to become a filmmaker, doing this podcast, everything I do. So this is pretty special day for both of us, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Wes Anderson is one of the best filmmakers of you and I's time, at least, and people around our age. I think he's one of the great first directors to get into. He has a very clear and distinct style, and a lot of his movies get a lot deeper than you might think.
For sure.
Before we get into this, I do want to say I really do like all of these movies. I'm looking at my list, and I don't have anything under an 8 on here.
He doesn't
just by nature of how these things go, some things might seem a little wonky. But I like all of these movies a lot. It's just there has to be a best and there has to be a worst.
Yeah, he never misses. All of these movies are pretty fantastic. I would say there's only a couple that I think are not as good, but they're still good movies. Also, just general housekeeping. I'm at a hotel, so if you hear any weird noises, that's why.
It happens.
But we push on for Wes Anderson. So before we got on the podcast, we decided we were going to flip a coin to decide who was going to get the first and second pick. And this is going to be a snake draft. So Norman won the coin flip, so he is going first. Norman, what's going to be your first pick in the Wes Anderson film draft?
My first pick, I don't know if you'll agree here, I'd almost say easily, maybe not easily, my favorite Wes Anderson. I'm going with the Royal Tenenbaums.
Wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. I was honestly expecting you would take another movie, but yeah, go off. Royal Tenenbaums.
Royal Tenenbaums. You got Gene Hackman, I think one of the greatest actors of all time. You got Angelica Huston. You got Ben Stiller. You got Gwyneth Paltrow. You got Luke Wilson. I don't want to
Star-studded.
Star-studded, which that's a pretty reoccurring theme with Wes Anderson.
Yep.
Another reason why I think he's so easy to break into is there are so many actors in these movies that you're bound to see someone you really like and want to see in this, quote-unquote artsy-fartsy movies. But, yeah, Tenenbaums have always just done it for me more than the rest of his movies. I think it's really funny. I think it's, incredibly, incredibly personal. I think everyone's great in it, but I think Gene Hackman is phenomenal in it. I'm a big Gene Hackman guy. I don't know about you, Max.
Me too.
I'm a big fan. Shout out to Conversation. Francis Ford Coppola.
I've yet to see that. I need to watch.
Great movie. But yeah, it's got to be Royal Tenenbaums for me.
Yeah, this is one of those that always kind of like my Wes fandom kind of came in phases where really early on I was watching things like Fantastic Mr. Fox, and kind of Rushmore was also around that time. I kind of got into that stuff, but Royal Tenenbaums I had avoided for whatever reason for a while, and I watched it probably in high school, I think, and I just absolutely loved it, and I don't know why it took me that long to see it, honestly. But yeah, it's great pick.
Yeah, it's funny and miserable. Which, what more could you ask for from a movie?
That's a Wes. That's a Wes. So, yeah, the Royal Tenenbaums, great pick, Norman. That's the first pick. You're kicking it off. So I have the second and third pick here, and I am going to take Fantastic Mr. Fox, as it was number 1 on my power ranking. I thought you were going to take that movie.
I figured you would.
Yeah.
It seemed like a Max movie.
Yeah, definitely.
I do love Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? It's just the best. You get George Clooney as Mr. Fox. It's the adaptation of the Roald Dahl story. So many great characters. You get Christopherson, just, Kylie with the eyes. Great Bill Murray. I mean, a lot of these movies have great Bill Murray, but Clive Badger, one of the better Bill Murray appearances in my opinion. I love how they say "what the cuss" instead of actually cussing in this movie. It gives it a little bit of an edge, I guess, but it's also like pretty stupid and funny. But yeah, I really, really love this movie. It's what got me into Wes Anderson as a filmmaker. I probably saw this movie. It came out in 2009, so I would have been 7 years old because I think I saw this in the theater. Really, really great stuff. And probably if I had to... I don't really have a movie that I can say is like, what's the movie that got you into movies or made you want to, try to make a career out of this. I don't really have like a specific like canon event with regards to that, but if I had to guess or pick one, Fantastic Mr. Fox would probably be high on the list as far as that goes.
It's an incredible movie, and yeah, I assume same for you. You watched as a kid and it kind of blew you away.
Yep.
It was a real entry point.
Yeah.
But yeah, even now that I'm older, it's still phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's just as hard. I think it's just as funny, if not funnier, than when I was young. It is a fantastic movie.
I think all of these movies, and I revisited a lot of them for the draft, they get a lot better as you get older.
For sure.
There's a lot of stuff in these movies that, like, when I was 7, it's because of, experienced the world for, and growing up and living for a while. So, that's why, when you're 7 years old, you're not going to really understand, everything that these movies have to offer. And that's kind of a beautiful experience, like growing up with these movies, I think. And Fantastic Mr. Fox is definitely one that has stuck with me for probably the longest time, just given when I saw it was the first one.
Definitely.
The second movie I'm going to take is... Fuck it. I want to have it, but I don't know if you would have taken it as high. But I need to get it. Asteroid City.
It was high for me, but
okay.
It's not what I got him next. But yeah,
okay,
damn.
Fire. Yeah, that was second on my power rank, and I just absolutely love Asteroid City. I think it's the full realization of like the Wes Anderson experience. The cinematography in that movie is incredible. The sets are just magnificent, like the way that Asteroid City is constructed, like the amusement park, the observatory. There's so many great sets in that movie, and it just feels it's the one movie. Well, a lot of these movies are like beautiful and just spectacle, but this movie specifically is just the most beautiful looking thing I've ever seen. Like my eyeballs just like love the way that this looks. Like it's just crazy. I don't know how he did this.
It is like one of a kind, and obviously all of his movies have a very distinct visual style, and they stick out among the rest. But yeah, this is probably his best looking movie for me too. I had this at number 3 on my draft list. I really, really, really like this movie. I know some people haven't been a big fan of Wes Anderson's last few movies. I haven't seen The Phoenician Scheme yet, but
I thought it was
love
good.
This later stage in his career. I think his casts are just getting bigger. I mean, obviously he's been an adult my entire life, but he's maturing too, and he's making a little more mature themes and such.
Definitely. I think that, you know, this movie obviously deals with like, you know, a small town that's hit with like a world changing, you know, turn your world upside down situation when the aliens come. And it's very much a movie about, you know, dealing with just, you know, life-changing events. There's has a lot to do with grief as well. The mother figure in the film has died, as you know, that happens in a lot of movies. There's a lot of these West movies is one of the parents is dead, but it's like you said, it's just way more mature in terms of like what it's trying to get at, and it goes a little bit more experimental in the way that it goes about doing these things. Like I rewatched Rushmore yesterday, and that movie is so very different from the recent stuff he's doing, just in terms of how that movie feels like it's set in like the real world, whereas like Asteroid City feels like it's set in Westworld, which is not a bad thing.
Not at all.
But it's just it shows how much he's changed over time, and I think, you know, the fact that he has been able to hone his style that much to get to where he is now, it just shows you, like, you know, he would mature over that, you know, span of time because he's gotten everything else, you know, fine-tuned exactly how he wants it. So, you know, and he's also getting older and all that stuff. So, good stuff. Asteroid City, love it. That's what I'm taking at number 3. Norman, you have picked number 4. Go for it.
This might be a little crazy. This might be my most controversial, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, all these movies are bangers, so I think it's hard not to agree in some extent. For my second pick, our 4th pick of this draft here, I'm taking the Darjeeling Limited.
Wow, okay. High, okay.
Yeah, I know. A little crazy. I know there's some things in this movie that don't hold up as well as whatever. But I really, really like this movie. This was probably his last movie I watched, other than like Asteroid City coming to theaters. But of everything that was out, you know what I mean? This was his last one I got to. And it just really, really hit for me. I don't know. I like cried the first time I watched it. I really, really love all 3 of the leads.
Yep.
I mean, duh. They're in like most of these movies, but they're also just great actors on their own.
Yep.
But yeah, this movie just kind of really blew me away. I just kind of love that theme of brothers and sticking together through everything, and how you can not talk to someone for a while and still pick that back up. Just really sweet. I don't know. I've always really, really liked this one. I think the first time I watched it again like a day after because I couldn't stop thinking about it, which you probably did every once in a while too.
Yeah, definitely.
Were you surprised that I took this at number 2?
I was surprised that you took this at number 2, maybe just because it was one of the ones I hadn't seen. I watched this yesterday to prep for this, and I really, really liked it. I did really, really like it. But it's one of those that I feel like can get lost in the shuffle. Typically, like, the reason I haven't seen it is because I haven't really heard anybody talk about it in that kind of, like, really positive way. But it's a really good movie. It's a really, really good movie. Like we said, all these movies are. But, yeah, I thought it was great. I think that the way they handle this is also a movie about grief, similar to Asteroid City. But in this movie, I feel like it's done a little bit less subtle, but the lack of subtlety almost works in its favor. Like
Sure.
the final moment at the end of the movie where they drop all of their dad's baggage, like that's pretty, you know, it can be looked at as like on the nose, but it's like in the moment that moment works so well, and it's just a really beautiful, good movie, as most of these movies are. But yeah, no, I'm surprised you took it, but it's a good pick.
For me, it is still probably his most emotionally resonant movie.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know. This one always hits for me. I love Owen Wilson just beat up this entire movie. So
Yeah.
I always find that fun.
I love a movie on a train,
Yeah.
except for
I
the movie
agree.
Bullet Train. Not a fan of Bullet Train.
Yeah. You ever seen Snowpiercer? That's a good movie on a train.
Snowpiercer's a great movie.
Great movie on a train. But yeah, it's probably my favorite movie on a train too. Now that you think, if we were doing a train movie draft, this would probably be my first pick.
Damn. You would pick this over Snowpiercer.
Probably. I do like Snowpiercer a lot
Polar Express?
though. I'd pick this 10 times over Polar Express.
Trying to think of other train movies, but that's not the point of this draft. Okay. Norman, you have another pick, I think.
Yeah, we're snaking
You do?
here, so I got another pick. And this was my first Wes Anderson movie I saw that wasn't called Fantastic Mr. Fox, and it's one I've probably seen this one the most, and that is Moonrise Kingdom.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
I've always really liked this movie. I've always just thought it was really funny, really sweet. I like all of his movies, really nice to look at, but I just love the camp and small town setting. I think he's just built for that. Bruce Willis gives one of my favorite Bruce Willis performances in this movie. It's just very different than what he usually does. I don't know if you'd agree with me there,
Yeah.
but yeah, obviously the kids are great in this. It's hard to have a kid lead your movie and it worked well, and I think it really works well. Like with all of his movies here, not to be a broken record, but great cast: Edward Norton, Bill Murray, Frances McDormand, Tilda Swinton. A lot of cool people in this one.
Usual
A lot of
Suspects.
Wes-
I think.
Yeah.
I think Ed Norton's really good in this movie.
He is really good in this movie. He's very funny in this movie. He plays a really good, kind of weird camp counselor, Boy Scout, Ranger guy. But yeah, Moonrise Kingdom. I just think it's a really sweet movie, really funny movie. Like I said, it is part of that journey of me getting into Wes's filmography, as well as just wanting to be a filmmaker. And yeah, this is probably the one I come back to the most.
Fire.
So,
Fire.
how do you feel about Moonrise Kingdom, Max?
I honestly, this is one of the ones that I didn't have time to revisit to prep for this, and I always liked it, but it was never one of the ones that I really held in like the top tier. I know when I saw it, I was like glued to the screen, and I was like just, enthralled. It was like 2012. I was probably like 10 years old, and I saw it when it came out, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's great. It's Moonrise Kingdom. It's probably one of the movies here that really also kind of like, it's the first stepping point, I feel like, into the new Wes, and like where he is now. Actually, maybe not the first stepping point, because Fantastic Mr. Fox is pretty out there.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I feel like this movie is important in his filmography for like where he went, and also it's just a great movie.
Yeah, it is.
Kids going on an adventure.
It's a fun time. It's a really fun time. I think you could show this movie to anyone and they would like it. I think it's pretty easy, accessible, and really stylized and personal. So it's always just been the perfect blend for me. I love Moonrise Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's going to be my next pick. But Max, you got 2 on the clock here.
I do. I am going to go with Rushmore for my
Okay.
next pick.
Do you want
A
to tell us
movie.
why?
Yeah. This is probably, like I said, the second movie that I watched of his after Fantastic Mr. Fox. I know we had this on DVD. And a little thing about me is that when I was like 9 or 10 years old, very young, Bill Murray was my GOAT. I would just watch everything with Bill Murray in it, and that is probably what also led me to Wes. I mean, when I saw Fantastic Mr. Fox, I was cognizant of the fact that Bill Murray was in that movie.
Sure.
And that kind of, I think my love of him as an actor and performer led me to Wes, and this is probably some of the best Bill Murray we get in a Wes movie.
Yeah, he's really, really, really good in this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you real quick.
Yeah.
Were you a big Ghostbusters kid?
I was a huge Ghostbusters kid.
Okay, I was also a huge, huge Ghostbusters kid. I used to watch that movie on repeat.
It's goated.
But yeah, back to Rushmore.
Yeah, so Bill Murray plays Herman Bloom in this movie, and Jason Schwartzman plays Max Fisher, a young 15-year-old student, and they're both trying to go after this teacher, this young teacher, and it's a movie that I think, it plays very differently watching it now than when you're 9 or 10 years old, because there's a lot that you don't understand when you're that age.
For sure.
So watching it this time, I just thought, wow, this movie is just absolutely incredible. I think this is Wes's, I don't know if I'm going to say best movie, but the rewatch was incredible last night. I really, really, really loved this movie. I loved it when I first saw it, but now it's just it's just really, really great. I think, watching this story about these people that just desperately want what they can't have in an almost comical way. And also, Max Fisher as a character probably, I don't know. He has the same name as me. I'm not a total sociopath like Max Fisher, I don't think. But
I hope not.
Yeah, no. But, they got the cowlick thing. It's he's got glasses. I was when I was little, I was looks like me. But, yeah, no. That's kind of how I got into Rushmore, how I got into Wes. I love Rushmore, so I'm going to pick it.
Yeah, Rushmore. It's a good one. Funny enough, I didn't watch this up until the last 5 years.
Yeah.
This was my Wes Anderson blind spot, but I finally got the Criterion. I actually am looking. I have it on my wall. The Criterion, do you have it?
I think I have the DVD.
Got you. Well, it comes with a poster of Rushmore, a map.
That's fire.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, I do like this one a lot, but like I said, I didn't really grow up with it in the same way I kind of grew up with some of these. This is kind of after I'd already seen everything, so I don't have that factor to it. But yeah, it's a really good time. Jason Schwartzman's a baby in this. Which,
he is.
Is crazy, like I said, because this was one of those last ones I watched. I'd never seen him this young in anything, so it just kind of threw me off a lot. I just kept seeing this kid with this head of an adult. But
yeah,
yeah, Rushmore's awesome.
Rushmore is awesome. I have one more pick, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, for the next pick, I gotta take Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, I was waiting for one of us.
Yeah,
to do it.
I was like, how is it still here? I gotta take it for the value, I think. Just a great movie. Grand Budapest Hotel was probably the second Wes movie I saw in theaters, I would think. It came out in 2014.
Yeah,
would have been 12.
The Wes movie. This is,
yeah,
I think the one that got nominated for so much, which he usually isn't. Which honestly, this guy should be nominated every year he has a movie coming out.
That's
just
true.
saying. I think even as most middling, it's always one of the best movies coming out that year.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
continue, Grand Budapest.
Ralph Fiennes, just incredible in this movie. Tony Revolori is really, really good. He's kind of adding, some players into the Wes Anderson fold here with those guys.
Yeah.
This is the first time that those guys were in a Wes Anderson movie, right? Ralph Fiennes and Tony Revolori.
Yeah, I believe so. Is Ralph Fiennes in any of his other movies?
He's in one of the shorts.
Right.
But other than that, I don't think so. But
Interesting. I know Tony Ravioli shows up in at least the French Dispatch.
he shows,
I
yeah,
remember.
he shows up in Dispatch, and I think he's in Asteroid City as well. But yeah, no, Grand Budapest Hotel, really, really good, beautiful sets in this movie. It's really, really funny. I think it's kind of a meme, I guess, but the thing where like Willem Dafoe punches him in the face and it like circle wipes like in, and that's like
It's the best.
it's pretty funny. Pretty funny movie. Willem Dafoe was on one, and that's what I have to say.
I think this is like the best Jude Law has ever been in anything.
Yeah,
I know he's narrating for a lot of it, but he is so good in this movie. I think everyone's great in this movie. I think this is a great movie. I had a couple movies in between it and my next pick, but I do love this movie. I think it's a great movie. It's one of his best casts. Might
Yeah.
be his best cast. But yeah, I've always been a big Grand Budapest guy. And yeah, this was another one of the first ones I'd seen just because it was a big deal at the time. You know, this
Yeah.
was like his big Oscar movie.
Yep.
He didn't really win anything, but alas. A lot of people, I don't know if you have this, but if you bring up Wes Anderson, they're like, oh, the Grand Budapest guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of one of the first movies that really, really popped off to a major audience. I think it made like
Sure.
over $250 million or something like that.
Can you imagine that now?
Yeah, it'd be
This
nuts.
movie, a Wes Anderson movie making that much money.
Let's
But
fact check my box office. But yeah, no, I believe. Let's go to break actually, because that's the end of the round, right? Like that was.
yeah, I think I got 2 picks next up when we're back. So
Or well, if you have 2 picks, shouldn't you make one, and then we'll start on the next one?
yeah, let's do it. So
Okay,
I'll go
yeah,
one right
go
now.
for it.
I'm taking the French Dispatch.
Okay. I thought you might do that.
I do love this movie a lot. It's an anthology movie,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but I think it's great. I really like all 3 sections of this movie. I love Moses' story, Benicio del Toro's character.
Yep.
I think that section is probably my favorite Wes Anderson movie. It's Point Blank period. I love all of that with the painting. I think it's
Yep.
like beyond beautiful. This movie has Timmy in it. Did you do the Timmy double feature when this came out on the same day as Dune?
I did not. I didn't. I didn't even realize that these came out on the same day as Dune.
Pretty
Saw them
crazy,
on different
right?
days, but yeah, that's nuts.
I saw them on different days too, but I remember being like, "Whoa!" But yeah, I really like this movie. Jeffrey Wright's in it, who is fantastic in everything he's in. But
Yep.
he's kind of now. Is he in the Phoenician Scheme?
He is in the Phoenician Scheme.
Awesome. Yeah, so he's a West mainstay, it seems like, which makes sense. He's great in these movies. Everyone's really good in these movies, obviously. But yeah, I think I really like The French Dispatch. I think it's pretty different. I think it is like really, really the start of this quote unquote late stage Wes Anderson that we're seeing. Just kind of feels like he's fully realized as a filmmaker on what he wants to do, on how he wants to do it. But yeah, The French Dispatch. How do you feel about this one, Max? Before we take a quick break.
I think this movie is great. I think it has the funniest joke in any of these movies. And it's so stupid and simple. I don't know why I love it so much. But it's when there's a 4 years later title card, and Adrian Brody just says, "It's 4 years later," immediately
Yeah.
after the title card. I don't know why that joke really, really gets me. But yeah, no, I love The French Dispatch. Great pick.
Thank you. Well, let's take a quick break, and then I'll come back with my next one.
Yes, sir. are back, and Norman is picking once again.
So yeah, this is my next pick here. I got Wes Anderson's other fully animated movie, Isle of Dogs.
Interesting. Okay, I thought you might do this, but I wasn't expecting that.
I know. As we all know, animation is exclusively for babies. But every once in a while, there's a little diamond in the rough. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
And I like Isle of Dogs. I think Fantastic Mr. Fox is better. These movies are just always compared just by default as just two animated movies. I just want to get that out of the way. But I do enjoy Isle of Dogs quite a bit. I think it might be a better looking movie than Fantastic Mr. Fox, and I think that just comes with time more than anything. I'd probably say I like the overall aesthetic and vibe of Mr. Fox a little more. Maybe because it's not a trash island, but yeah, this was the first time Bryan Cranston was in a Wes Anderson movie, if I'm right, Mike. Yeah, and he's kind of a mainstay now. I love Bryan Cranston, like every single guy my age who watched Breaking Bad and it blew their mind and it was the best show ever, yada, yada, yada. Max, can you agree?
I agree.
He's cool. But he's really good at Malcolm in the Middle. That's what they don't tell you. He might be better at Malcolm in the Middle. He's a very, very funny actor. Have you finished The Studio, Max?
I have finished The Studio.
He's pretty good in those last few episodes. He's having a lot of fun, and you can tell. But yeah, Isle of Dogs, I think it's great. I would call it one of the mid-tier Wes's, but even a mid-tier Wes Anderson movie is better than most movies.
Agreed.
It looks really nice. It's a little more mature than Fantastic Mr. Fox. Kind of a little bit.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's just subject matter. I like when if you're gonna make an animated kids kind of movie. I like when it's got a little more edge to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie has a great voice cast. I think a lot of animated movies in general just cast celebrities, and it doesn't always work. But Wes Anderson's an incredible director, and he gets really good performances. I know, obviously, with Fantastic Mr. Fox, it's widely known, especially if you're in these film spaces, that they acted out a lot of the movements.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did that here. I've never really seen anything about it. I know they're all dogs, so that might be a little harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think great voice performances from everyone in this one. It's funny, it's sweet, it has a nice story. It's not breaking a lot of new ground story-wise for Wes, but yeah, Isle of Dogs.
Good movie. This is also one of the ones that I hadn't seen until yesterday.
Interesting.
And I liked it.
Yeah, it's a good one. I would say so. But yeah, that's going to be my pick there, Isle of Dogs.
Okay, I am going to go with The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou for my final pick. Also a movie I saw yesterday, but I'm happy to take it at this last pick because I thought it was incredible.
It's really good.
Yeah, Steve Zissou, just unbelievable aura. He, shoots at some pirates. He's a filmmaker. He's exploring the ocean. It's just a really fun movie, and it's very silly. It's great Bill Murray. Great Owen Wilson and Cate Blanchett as well.
Big time.
I didn't even know Cate Blanchett was in this movie before watching it. Also, you get a Matthew Gray Gubler shows up, the guy from Criminal Minds. As the intern. It's pretty funny. But yeah, this movie and you also get some stop motion animation from Henry Selick, who's the Nightmare Before Christmas guy, among other things. But yeah, the stop motion with like the sea creatures is really great.
It's so cool.
Yeah, and like the whole like quest to find the jaguar shark is like, it's one of those things that's like really stupid and funny, but like deeply resonant and meaningful by the end. Just because of the way it's deep, it's stupid and funny because of the way that Bill Murray plays it throughout the movie and the way that the characters are talking about something called the jaguar shark. It's a silly premise, but by the end, when they're all in the submarine looking out at the jaguar shark, it's really, really great stuff. So that is going to be my last pick or my last film pick.
It's a good one.
So, okay, so I have one more pick, don't I, actually?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So now I can pick my wild cards, which are going to be character and setting. And I'm going to pick... I'm going to pick the Grand Budapest Hotel in setting.
Okay.
So I got the movie and the setting. So my film festival is playing at the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Very nice.
Very elegant setting.
Great place for a film festival.
Okay, Norman, what are you going with?
So my pick is up here. I picked all my movies. I'm happy with what I got. I'm going to go with who I'm hosting first.
Okay.
To host my film festival, I'm going to take Moses from the French Dispatch.
Okay.
You know, a little bit of a wild card. You don't really know what he's going to do, what he's going to say, but he knows art. I think that shines throughout that movie. He is a artiste no matter where he is. So,
For sure.
like I said, that's probably my favorite little Wes Anderson story, period. I really, really like Benicio del Toro in that role.
I do too.
I think he's just a fun character, and I think it'd be interesting to see him host my film festival.
I think I think it would be interesting as well. That's Moses Rosenthaler, right? That's his last
Moses
name.
Rosenthaler, yep.
Moses Rosenthaler.
Played by the great Benicio del Toro. But yeah, so guess I'm up again.
You are up again. You can pick your
And-
setting.
I kind of struggled with this a little bit. I don't know why Grand Budapest didn't even cross my mind. Well, that makes too much sense. But, you know, maybe it's because I'm from Texas and I like this. I'm going with Asteroid City. That's where we're
Nice.
having my festival here. Go to the carnival, play some games, ride some rides. Go check out a movie after. My man Moses hosting.
Yeah. So we're at an outdoor venue, I'm assuming?
We're at an outdoor venue. Yeah, I would say. Maybe there's a classic theater somewhere in Asteroid City we didn't see.
Yeah.
But I was kind of imagining, this is maybe an outdoor film festival. Go have fun, play at the carnival, go dance, go sing, come down, watch a great Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah.
Hosted by the one and only Moses.
Incredible.
So, yeah, I think that's my film festival. So, Max,
That's great.
you've given us your location, Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yes.
But who is going to be presenting these films to us?
It's going to be Steve Zissou.
I assumed.
Yeah, we get a little taste of it in the Steve Zissou movie, how he would kind of go about this as he's, doing a Q&A about his latest documentary in the opening of the film.
Sure.
But I think his energy would just be spectacular. He is, it's Bill Murray, so he's like super deadpan and, but he's very passionate about the craft. He's Steve Zissou, underwater
Sure.
explorer. So I think that he is going to be my host. And that concludes our first film festival. Norman?
Yeah, I think this went really well.
Yeah.
You happy with your lineup? Did I steal anything from you that you were looking to grab?
I honestly got all the stuff I was looking to get. The only thing that I would have wanted, actually, I'm pretty happy with my lineup actually, because I would, I like all these movies, so it's kind of like, tough.
Yeah.
Like I probably would have, like, around the time you took French Dispatch, like I probably was looking at that as well. But I'm very happy with my list. Are you happy with your list?
I am pretty happy. You took Asteroid City from me, but other than that,
Yeah.
if you take out Isle of Dogs and put in Asteroid City, that's probably my top 5 Wes Anderson movies. So, I know
Yeah.
it's a little, but I'm happy with the two. I like my location. I like my host a lot. This was a lot of fun.
Yep. So also, I was gonna say we should have the thing that I was thinking about was, there's gonna be a vote on Instagram for this. I'm gonna put it up on a graphic. So if you're listening to this, go find that graphic on Instagram, on the Sneaking to the Movies Instagram, and vote on which film festival you are going to go to. And the loser of this film festival is going to have to read all of the comments. So if you throw in a comment on that post saying whatever, you can make us say whatever. Whoever loses, whoever gets less of the vote, has to say whatever is in the comments on that post.
Instagram, actually, I shouldn't say this. I was going to say if Instagram terms of service lets you say it, but they kind of let you say anything now. So maybe don't put anything, but
we're not going to say anything vulgar. If you put something crazy in the comments, like, we're obviously going to not go crazy here, but you can make us say some weird shit. We'll allow that.
That's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. So go look for that. And I believe we're going to be done here. Go see the Phoenician Scheme.
I'm excited to see it. I guess we'll talk about it a little next week. Right now we're planning kind of a catch-up episode where movies we haven't had the time to get around to or done a full episode for. Kind of what we've been watching kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping to see the Phoenician Scheme. I'm watching the new Predator, Killer of Killers. I'm pretty sure it's called tonight. I'm super excited for that. I love Prey. And hopefully you find some time to see Bring Her Back, because I've wanted to see that.
I do too.
You haven't seen it yet, right?
Have not seen it.
But, yeah, I think that's going to wrap it for our Wes Anderson episode. Shout out Wes Anderson. One of the greats. Texas born. Great, like we said, introduction point to getting into filmmaking. And when you're there, his movies just get better. They just get deeper, they get funnier, they get smarter, all this stuff. So I think, he's one of the greats of our time. Zero question about it. I'll be there for whatever he makes next.
Same. Always. We will always be here for Wes, and that will take us out.
We will always be here for you.
Yes. Thank you for sneaking in with us. We'll see you next time.
Later.